going to start out making something. It's got a very whimsical name. It's called valigette di vitello, and it means little suitcases of veal. Doesn't that sound cute? Yep. Say yes. Yes. Because these are little bundles of veal that we're going to stuff, and we want to stuff them with some of the traditional products that we find here in the region of Emilia-Romagna, and that means salumi. So what we need to do is make a paste out of this. So we have to take the mortadella, you need about 1/4 pound of each, and put it in a food processor. It's best to do this in a food processor because if you tried to do this by hand, you'd be there a long time with the salami. So put it all in, and then we want to get it into a paste, because this is going to be the filling now for our veal. It smells good, doesn't it, class?
Yes, it does.
So you see how fine I have chopped it up here. Now we're going to add a little bit of salt to this. Not much, because, you know, we have salt in the meat because it's been cured with salt. So start with a pinch. And Rose, if you want to give that a grinding of pepper. That's good. Now if you want to mix it up together. And now you get the best job. I let him mince the onions. Isn't this great? You can be in my kitchen anytime. So we want the onions to be minced up. And we also have some shallots here. So I made a mixture of onions and shallots. You just need 1 small onion. So we want to grate up some Parmigiano, and I'm just going to do it here, right here on the smaller end of the cheese grater. Oh, you want about 2 tablespoons or so. How are you doing on those onions? Okay. Looking good. So we'll add this cheese. That looks to be about enough. Let's put some cheese in here. Okay, now we can get rid of this. Give me that. And we'll mix the cheese in. Okay, so now we can put the onions in, and this is veal cut from the top round. Make sure you're getting veal from the top round because that is going to be tender, and you see how beautiful it is.
Nature veal here or just regular?
They use regular veal that is, they eat the grass, they eat natural grains. And you want to use a batte carne, this is a batte carne, to flatten. You want to make sure that the veal is the same thickness all the way around, because that way it's going to cook evenly. Okay, now that we have that, we need to tie them. So here is our kitchen string. This is what the word spaghetti comes from. Spago means string in Italian, and spaghetti is like strings. So now we want to roll these up. So roll them up like a little bundle. This is where the name comes from, the valigette, the little suitcase. You roll it up. I'll do one, and then I'll have you do one. And then go underneath the meat and just tie it. This is to hold it. You could also use toothpicks for this, but I don't like using toothpicks because then it's hard to turn the meat around in the skillet. You need to have now ready a frying pan, a saute pan, and you want to put some butter. You're going to get some butter hot in the pan. And then we're going to brown these very quickly in the pan, and we're going to moisten them with a little bit of fresh broth. You can use either chicken broth, vegetable broth, meat broth, whatever you want to use. But right now, we have our veal, and we've got to get to the stove because now we have to brown these, and all you want to do is brown them beautifully on all sides. Make sure that they brown nicely. Control the heat. If you have to, don't get them too dark. So you want to brown them well, and then can you add a little bit of salt to this for me? Just sprinkle a little salt on top. A piacere, we say. As much salt as you like. A piacere. Okay? You know that phrase. A piacere. Okay. So we want to brown them well. Now there was a question as we were coming over here as to whether or not you could do this without butter. Ma certo, questo è Bologna. But you could use olive oil if you wanted to, or you could use a combination of olive oil and butter. If you can't use butter, then just use olive oil. But remember, we're cooking traditional, so we want to add butter. Turn that up now just a little bit. Before I send them off, once they are browned, then you want to have some hot stock ready. Remember I told you you could use either vegetable, you could use chicken, whatever stock you have. You don't want to use stock, you could use water. You don't want to use water, you could use white wine. You use your imagination in the kitchen. Actually, I think white wine would be good with this, don't you? That's a great idea. But today we're going to use chicken stock. So we put the chicken stock in. You need about 2/3 to a cup, just to help keep that moist. And then you lower the heat, you cover, and you send everybody else off to cook. I think those look good. These look good. They've been in here about 15 minutes. So we're going to take these out into a nice casserole dish.